half the field, it all in a long line in that battle for his third position behind Phil Goodwin. Two up front, turning to Murray with Neil David James, after the first and second, separation battle a little further in Pack 2 is third place Phil Goodwin ahead of Tyler Birdseye, 4th, 5th Stephen Williams, 6th is Joe Ball, 7th Richard Garrard from the back of the grid, is dropping down to 8th position, has gone John Moore who got his first podium earlier today, so he started 5th. But now he's dropped down to 8th position, and he was only just ahead of Tim Shooter in 9th, who completed the top 10 was Andrew Yowins. Now, at the beginning of this lap, Mark Heal's just eking away from David James, so that 3/10 of a second margin is being extended at the start of this second lap of the race, and there's some side-by-side action in the pack behind, and again it's Richard Garrard that is gaining places, car number 49 going up the inside of yet another car, and with that the John Moore machine, I think it was, that John Moore loses yet another place, and he might lose another because Tim Shooter is now alongside him going down towards Hamilton there. And Tim Shooter also goes past, so John Moore losing some positions in that battle, it would seem, after such a good race earlier on today. So the cars go out of eyesight and reappear on the camera screens we have in the commentary box at Brundle and Nelson, and David James using the toe to get back onto terms with the race leader Mark Eales. These two are much further ahead of the rest of the field and are having a good scrap amongst themselves. And then for third position Phil Goodwin, 4th is Tyler Birdseye, going with them is Stephen Williams there in 5th position. And there is that Tim Shooter possibly up into 5th. Garrard 2, and Garrard that up front, scale between Mark Eales, number 3 David James, and Jackson, all 10th of a second, a fast lap from Mark Eales. 2 minutes 26.741, but that was only 400 of a second quicker than David James, who looked down the inside into Ritchie's, but that did not work out for him. The same order up front. There's Goodwin Birdseye, once more is going to be a retirement for Richard Garrard. So that means up into 6th position has come Tim Shooter, who started the lap in 9th. In 7th is Joe Ball, 8th is John Moore, struggling this time. Pete Coleman is there in 9th position because he's also passed Andrew Yowins on this lap, and then the 11th and final runner is Neil Burnett. And I don't think we've even got Richard Garrard back into the pit lane this time, so Richard Garrard has stopped out somewhere in the second half of the lap. So this is lap 3 of the race. This is Mark Eales, still just ahead of David James. He's quite good in those first few corners, he's able to get away from James, but then David James fights back in the second half of the lap, so we'll see if that happens again on this lap 3 of the race. Phil Goodwin is 1.3 seconds clear of Tyler Birdseye, who's starting to come under increasing pressure from both, not just Stephen Williams, but also the hard charging Tim Shooter. Remember, he started 9th, didn't make the greatest of starts, but worked his way ahead of a couple of cars on the last lap, and is there in 6th place. And sounds like, once again, to Richard Garrard, it's another fire, thanks to Ashley Bryant, who sent through a message at Williams Corner, the fire for Richard Garrard, just like he had at Donington Park, so not all is well with his MG Metro Turbo. So 2 meetings and 2 fires for him, unfortunately, but I can see him drive round to the car, and that is where it's quicker in the second half of the lap, and again he's right in the victory of Mark Eales, and this time it's both of his going to be the four. It's not that car length on the very close to the second half of the outside the no, but Mark Eales is doing the first few corners of Snetterton, and that is where he is able to just pull away, and particularly there through Ritchie's, where he was under pressure. He's now pulled out a few car lengths by the time they get down to the Wilson hairpin. The two of them are way out ahead of everybody else. They are 12 seconds ahead of Phil Goodwin, who's there in third. They crossed the line. They were side by side for 7th and 8th positions. Those being Joe Ball and that being John Moore, that were side by side going into Ritchie's at the start of what was lap 4. And as they reappear inside, it is John Moore that's gone through. So John Moore is up into 7th position after passing Joe Ball then at the beginning of this, the 4th lap of the race. This time through the infield, David James is right on terms with the leader, Mark Eales, and he's challenging Mark Eales into Williams. He's looking down the inside. You don't often see passes there, and I think the yellow flags have been brought in there now. Indeed they have. So he was able to challenge with David James, and he's gone through then. So David James, car number 96, has started down on 4th on the grid, has taken the lead of this Metro Cup race, sponsored by Drayton Manor Park. And as they get down into Brundle, has David James been able to hang on? Yes, he has. So Mark Eales, for the first time this weekend, does not lead one of these Metro Cup races. At Donington Park, we saw Tim Shooter and Willars win. This morning we saw Mark Eales win. Can David James make it 4 winners in 4 races in the Metro Cup? Last year, Jack Ashton won all 10 of the races in the championship, and remarkably, it's 4 races at a start. David James then that leads from the exit of Murray's, and he's just started to make a gap over Mark Eales. It's not a particularly big gap, but it's in the margin where the by the time they get to 96, David James then that leads as they go on to lap 5. In 3rd position is Phil Goodwin. In 4th is Kyla Birdseye. In her mirror she sees 2 cars side by side because Tim Shooter is going around the outside of Stephen Williams. Williams tries to fight back on the inside there, so the 2 cars run side by side, but round the outside that is car number 4, Tim Shooter, that goes around the outside of car number 75, and that is Stephen Williams. So a change around. Shooter from 9th on the grid is now into the top 5 in the second. Got the better of Joe Ball, so 3 place changes amongst the grid in that particular lap 4 of the 20-minute race of the Drayton Manor Park MG Metro Cup. 9th, 10th and 11th are all together headed into Ritchie. That headed by the car driven by Peter Coleman. In 10th position is Andrew Yowens, and then in 11th position is Neil Burnett, and that concludes the 11 runners in this second Metro Cup race of the day. Battle was 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th, they're all pretty much together on the road, heading through Oggies, Goodwin, Birdseye, Shooter, Williams, Moore and Ball. Those 6 cars separated by just 5 seconds, so fairly close together, and then that back of a 9 comes back into my view, Coleman, Yowens and Burnett. So everyone really having somebody to race with in the Metro Cup. The grid's not quite as large as we've seen in previous years, but with one mate former, someone to race with somewhere in the field, and a challenge there into Nelson, and a pass back to Tim Shooter, going ahead now on Tyler Burton. Halfway on, 2/3 of the way through the lap, and Tim Shooter, car number 4, which was down in 9th place in the early stages, is now in 4th position and chasing after Phil Goodwin. And for the lead, well, the race is back on again, and Mark still right in the field, and he's up inside the lead. And he's just going to have to back out of that. The outside car is having the momentum. He knows Mark Hill's quick move it. He tried to make the most of that. He just did the best lap of the race at 2 minutes 25.668, and that's faster than we've seen a Metro go in any of their sessions this weekend, but unable to go past David J on that occasion into Richie, so he'll have to try again at a later point in the race. There are 7 minutes left on the clock, and the leaders are Exeter Palmer, and across the line the gap was just 1/4 of a second. For third, Phil Goodwin is 7/10 ahead of Tim Shooter, and on that latest lap, Tim Shooter was 2 seconds quicker than Phil Goodwin, and